4G. 4G is fourth generation. It's the next generation of wireless networks. Here is a screenshot of what is currently the only, or was about a month ago, the only available 4G phone for sale on U.S. networks. Why am I talking about this? Because here in Canada, we have 3.5G. We have a 3.5G standard on our major networks called HSPA+. And in the United States, as some of you know, Verizon announced coverage of 110 million people across its 4G network. Then AT&T is likely to announce this summer coverage of 85 million people on their 4G network. Meanwhile, here in Canada, we are not expecting in 2011 any carrier to deploy a 4G network. Well, I work in an accounting firm, but I'm not an accountant. I'm a political science major. Robert, you're an accountant, right? There we go. So which is better? Is 3.5 better or 4 better? Which sounds better to you? 4? 4? Why do the Americans have 4 and we don't? Why are we stuck at 3.5G? Like, what are we, in some sort of cave here with dinosaurs? Wait, let's not go quite that far. When we look at the differences between 3.5G technology at a level called HSPA+, and when we look at LTE as it is being deployed in the United States, you can see the following things. There are great antenna technologies that are needed to have much higher data speeds. MIMO antenna technology, and 3.5G has it, and LTE has it. There's something called QAM encoding that allows you to do these magnificent things with wireless. Well, 3.5G has it, and LTE has it. 3G doesn't, by the way. Doesn't have either of those. If I go down to the second from the bottom there, real-world mobile download speeds, as you can see, the theoretical speeds look very different. Like, when I see LTE at 50 megabits per second, I go, wow, that's really good. That's not what you get. Verizon has already got, you can go on the Verizon website and they say, if you get this service, if you subscribe to our LTE service, you're going to get between 5 and 12 megabits in the real world. And the funny thing is, when you look at 3.5G, you get speeds of 2 to 10. And most of the time, you're going to be getting probably closer to 7 or 8. In other words, the real debate is, am I going to get 7 to 8 megabits per second, 2 to 5 gigabytes per month for $50 to $70, or for my $50 to $70, for 2 to 5 gigabytes, am I going to get 8 to 9 megabits per second? From the perspective of the consumer, 4G technologies, as yet, do not offer an enormous difference from 3.5G. From a carrier perspective, it's totally different. For every person I have using 10 megabits per second on my 3.5G network, I can have 3 people doing that on LTE. It is much more spectrally efficient. It doesn't use up as much of that scarce, expensive wireless spectrum. So what we think is going to happen in 2011 is real simple. If you live in the United States where they've got terrible network congestion all over the place, lots and lots of people using data, you're going to see LTE almost everywhere by the end of 2011, and certainly by the end of 2012. If you are in Canada, or Britain, or France, or Israel, or Belgium, or pretty much all of China, India, and the rest of the world, you don't have those terrible issues with network congestion yet. So they're going to stick with 3.5G. As consumers, we're not suffering, and carriers do not need to spend the additional dollars for 4G. So a bit of a technical one, but 4G is going to be big where it's needed in 2011. We won't see it until 2012, 2013, 2014 in areas with less network congestion.